Hey, this is Pastor Andrew with Menorah Minute. Today I want to talk about a prophecy involving, I believe, two men, the two witnesses as we find in the book of Revelation. Revelation 11 is where we find this prophecy. So I want to share just a few verses with you. It says in chapter 11 of verse 3, it says, "And I will give power unto my two witnesses." So we find here beginning that they're going to be given power from Almighty Yahweh. It says they're going to be given power to my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 score days, or 1,260 days. And by the way, this is the same time as the Great Tribulation. We find in Daniel and also in Revelation that the Great Tribulation is going to be a time times 2 years, and half a time 1 year, 2 years, a half a time 3.5 years, equates to 1,260 days. So they're going to prophesy for the last 3.5 years before Yahshua's coming. But it says they're going to be clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeds out of their mouth. Now, I don't know if that's literal. I kind of believe it may be literal. I don't know that for sure, but I tend to believe that's literal. And it devours their enemies, and if any man will hurt them, he must in like manner be killed. These have power to shut the heavens, that it rain not in the days of their prophesying. They have power over the waters to turn them into blood and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. So kind of like Moses of old, we find here that these men, they're going to be empowered by Almighty Yahweh to do some great things. And we find here that some of those things are going to have power to turn the water into blood, and they're going to be able to smite the earth with every plague as often as they just. That is so important for us to understand. These men are going to be empowered in a great way through the Holy Spirit, through Almighty Yahweh. Verse 7 says, "And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit," this is the Anti-Messiah, the man of sin, "shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. And verse 8, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city." We know this is Jerusalem, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also the Master was impaled. "And they," verse 9, "of the people have and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they're going to rejoice," it says later on. So we find here the prophecy of the two witnesses. Again, I believe that these are two men. Some say two groups. I believe that they're two men. And I believe that, like Moses, of all these men are going to be empowered to do some really great things. They're going to, again, to be able to turn water into blood and to pour upon this earth every plague as they desire. We also find here that it says no man's going to be able to hurt them as long as they are prophesying. And again, they prophesy for 1,260 days or 3.5 years. This is the same time as the Great Tribulation. And we find some types of this. Again, Moses and Aaron are probably the most notable. We know that they were two men who defeated one of the greatest power in the ancient world, that is Egypt. But we find here that these men, they are going to defeat one of the greatest powers, the greatest power really historically and presently and future, and that is the Anti-Messiah and his empire. The only caveat there would be, obviously, Yahshua's kingdom is going to be greater. But from a human standpoint, there's going to be no greater empire than the man of sin. And yet these two men, they're going to be able to stand against this power, and they're going to be victorious over it. Well, I pray that this quick Menorah Minute has been a blessing to you. I would encourage you to like this video, to share this video. And with that, may Yahweh bless you. Bye-bye.